Hi, welcome back to Air Engine Research. Uh, Today I'd like to talk a little bit about a pressure regulator that I've been trying to come up with, and I've been working on it, and also I looked online to see if I could find a pressure regulator that would be kind of what I consider high pressure. It has to go up to like 4,500 psi, and it has to be something that will let out more volume than what most of the pressure regulators do. um, I had a nitrogen pressure regulator that I bought. It's supposed to go up to 2,000 psi. Well, when I tried to use it, it would start off as soon as you open the valve to start the engine to run. It would have the volume, but then all of a sudden it would just slow down, and it wouldn't give any volume that would keep the engine running. So I needed to come up with something that would be hold the pressure, but also when you wanted to let it out, that it would give you, you know, I don't know how many cubic feet it would need right off the bat, but it would have to have quite a bit of volume to keep the engine running at the higher RPMs. So I decided to make one of my own. I bought a 1-inch air cylinder. I think it was like $7 or $8 on eBay, and just a regular 1/8 inch ball valve that you use like on a water line. And I put that together with a couple of springs and pressure valve on it and tried it out, and it seems like it works pretty good. This is a copy of or a picture of the thing from the front view. I have the pressure set for 62 psi, and on the air compressor right now it's running about 175 to 200 psi, so it maintains that pressure. When you open the valve, it'll drop down, but as soon as you put any back pressure on it, then it goes back up to whatever pressure it requires, and then it shuts off at 62 again. So this is a side view of it. You can see you can see a spring on the bottom left part of the cylinder. That's what pulls the valve shut whenever the pressure drops in the, or it's that open, no, it closes the valve, yeah. So when you put the air pressure to it, it stretches the spring and opens the valve until you get the same amount of air pressure as you've got it set for on the cylinder or on the spring, and then it closes the valve. It has two springs, one on each side. When the pressure, or like the vice grip that I have down there on the right side, if you open that up, it lets the air out. So then the cylinder will fall back down because the spring opens it and there's no pressure. If you close the plastic tube that I've got on it right now, then the air pressure builds up, the cylinder pushes open, and it closes the valve and stops at 62 psi. So that works pretty well. So the next thing that I'm going to show you will be one of the valve in operation. I open the vice grips and the pressure drops. As soon as it gets under the load, and it closes the valve again and shuts the air off, and it's waiting at 72 psi. So as you can see, it did maintain the pressure whenever there was pressure under it. And what happens if you start running the engine, as soon as you start moving, the pressure will either stay there if it needs the pressure to make it go, or if it's moving and it doesn't need 62 psi, well then it'll back off and maintain whatever pressure is required to make the vehicle or the engine run at whatever speed you're putting it at. Now you will have a control valve that will only let as much air out as you want the engine to run, and if you open it wide open, well then it tries to go as fast as it can with what pressure you've given it. If you put it, say, at half throttle, then it'll try to maintain that speed with that amount of pressure. So that's something that'll just have to be tried later on. I don't have the engine completely done yet either. I'm working on it, and I'll be putting it on the lawnmower thing that I've developed. Right now I'm putting a chain drive on the axle so that it can be hooked up to the engine when I set it in there. And also I've found that I'm going to have to go with a larger cylinder size also. Right now it's running on a 7/8 piston, which is just not enough power to do what I need. So I'm going to either have to reboard up to a 1 1/8 or 1 1/4 inch and then see what that does. So until I come up with some more to show you, this will be it for today. So thanks for dropping in, and if you enjoy what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up and maybe subscribe if you'd like to. So long.